Okay. Are you experiencing symptoms of your PC not working? Are you experiencing some of your technology having content overload? Ask your doctor if still scrolling is right for you. Still Scrolling is a weekly audiovisual treatment designed to help manage symptoms of boredom and cultural fear of missing out by waiting for Steph to reboot her computer and starting this show an hour late. I'm your on-time host, Justin.
Still Scrolling may cause diarrhea or heart failure, and I am your second host, Derek.
I, too, was a victim of computers not working, and now I am with Still Scrolling, and everything has changed for the better. I'm your third host, Stefania.
We did it. We had a decent off-the-cuff intro. We did it.
You make it sound like it's hard. Welcome to Still Scrolling, a show about pop culture. You know what? I already said it. We have so much to talk about what happened last week, and we are so excited to talk about it. But let's get off on I think probably the story that made me laugh the hardest last week. And we love talking about movies and very expensive franchises. But you want to know what cost more than one of my favorite franchises out there, Spider-Man No Way Home, which was filmed on a budget for $200 million. You know what cost more than that?
It couldn't have been the series of Department of Homeland Security advertising spots starring Kristi Noem, right? It was not that, right?
Literally, the commercials for the ice commercials cost more than the budget for Spider-Man No Way Home. Steph, have you seen this commercial?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Barbie as well.
Barbie? Are you kidding
Oppenheimer,
me?
Dune.
You're telling me these ice commercials cost more than a whole movie about a nuclear bomb? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Steph, I have the commercial queued up. So let me know what you think, and let me know if you would join ICE on this commercial alone. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible.
Did they film this in the volume?
America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. This took such a turn. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies.
Your American dream can be bigger than the budget of Spider-Man No Way Home.
How is that
kidding?
more than the budget for No Way Home? How is that more than the budget for Oppenheimer?
Literally.
That shit could be done with like just an iPhone and a Steadicam, and you're good. And then get
the stock footage licenses.
Stock footage, yeah.
Yeah, it's something definitely doesn't add up there, especially because there was no like bid submissions for the contractors that got the project, like the production companies and all that stuff that made it, and the company that did get it was incorporated like 8 days before it got the contract.
Whoa.
And it's tied to Kristi Noem's associates, right? So clearly none of that adds up. Hopefully maybe something could she could be held accountable to that, right? Like there's no way she keeps her job after all of that, right?
Yeah, she got fired. Yeah, if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on the political sides, Kristi Noem recently had a hearing to discuss what's going on in terms of ICE and I guess national security, as well as what's going on in all the cities that ICE has been deployed to. And she has not been doing a good job, anyone can see, because ICE is literally murdering American citizens in broad daylight. That's not a lie, that's the truth. But even without all that, like this entire ad campaign, like it's just enough for Republicans to get mad at you is actually shocking. But then I remember she's a woman and the odds were already stacked against her. So,
Yep.
Steph, would you join ICE after that commercial?
No, I wouldn't join ICE,
Oh,
period.
thank God. Thank God. I was worried.
You were worried that I would join ICE?
Look. I don't want to stereotype. But I would never think you would join ICE, Steph. I believe in you.
Listen, I had my moment earlier with my dry ass hands, white hands that I had to lotion, okay? That was my white moment of the day.
Yeah. You try to moisturize. That's what counts, right?
Does it? You know what? I'm proud of you, Steph. You know what? You're trying your best. But speaking of people trying their best, who's excited for Scary Movie 6? Really?
I am.
Yeah. I'll watch it on streaming when it comes out on streaming. Maybe. If I get a screener for it, I'll go, I guess.
What? Are you kidding? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Scary Movie 6 is coming out almost like, I think, over a decade over Scary Movie 5. And it's the first one in a while that's bringing back the Marilyns or the Wayans brother, you know? And they had their trailer got released over the weekend or over last week. And the Wayans brothers are making a big deal about finally canceling cancel culture. Has everyone seen the trailer for Scary Movies before we dive into this? I feel as though we just have to reserve Scary Movie 6 for Unk humor now. I get it. I understand what you're trying to go for. I'm not going to convince you to move to the future. So, like, you're stuck there. You know, does that make any sense? I don't know. Derek, what did you think?
Yeah, I think the best way I can sum it all up, I made a video on this, and of course, like, the faceless accounts came at me, and you know, the very highly educated, you know, internet pool of people came at me about like that I'm taking it too seriously and blah 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 blah. And it really wasn't that bad of a video. I just think the point of the video was saying, like, is this the type of early 2000s humor we want back? Because it's very low effort, right? Parody
I don't think
is
it's low
very
effort. I think it was
relatively
cutting edge
speaking
for the time.
Relatively speaking, right? But I think to sum this all up for me, right? I'm gonna borrow something that my buddy at the Holy Goofs said. They're another podcast, they're another show. They talked about how the whole marketing campaign is about we're canceling cancel culture. The tagline on the trailer is like everybody's gonna be offended, right? Like it's all about like how edgy and, you know, provocateur this movie's gonna be, and that's great. But is it funny? That's what I care about. That's what I care about. Is it funny?
Yeah.
Because the moment that you had Guess Who's Back again playing in the trailer, that right there told me like, okay, this is for my weird uncle. This is a movie for my weird uncle that loves Eminem, you know? And then the first joke is, boom, a pronoun joke, which, you know, that was maybe funny 10 years ago, right? Like, what is new here, right? Other than like the new IP that you guys are now making fun of, right? So from a humor standpoint, I don't think it's going to slap as much as everybody who's super hype about it thinks it's going to slap. I'm happy for y'all that you're gonna go see it. You're gonna have a good time regardless. I'm happy for y'all, but like, let's not kid ourselves. This isn't peak. This isn't like the return of humor or something like that.
You know what's funny though about the pronoun joke though? Because for viewers that haven't seen the commercial, Ghostface is like trying to murder someone and is getting their pronouns wrong. But what's funny is, if there is a horror character that uses multiple pronouns, it's actually Ghostface.
Yeah.
Ghostface has had several different gender changes. Ghostface has been
It's gender
he,
fluid.
him, has been she, her, and has also been they, them. This opportunity, Steph. What did you think?
It's been a very long time since I've seen any scary movie. But I'm actually pretty excited for it to come back because
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't see. I like. I low key enjoy humor like that. It's like dark humor, right? And there's just sometimes you just gotta joke about some stuff, just cool off the air or whatever. It's funny because my older family members, like millennials family members, they grew up on this type of comedy, right? So that translated to me because I was the youngest growing up at the time. So whatever they watched, I watched, right? So that's where like my humor kind of comes from. I do hope it doesn't flop. I do hope it actually is like a good funny movie. I just feel like I haven't seen much funny movies lately. We gotta bring back comedies, like really good
What?
comedies.
Are you
You know?
kidding me?
They don't make it to theaters. They prioritize it for streaming, or they
Yeah,
make it a TV show
right.
again for streaming. Comedy in the theater is not worth the effort for
Yeah.
Okay.
for studios anymore.
What about Good Fortune? You didn't
I don't
see
know what Good
that,
Fortune
Aziz
is, no.
Ansari?
I will say, actually, we could touch on this
Yeah.
maybe a bit, but Ted Lasso season 4 is coming out. And I really love that show, and that's on Apple TV.
Yeah,
And
comedy's around.
that is a really funny show. But yeah, they're only limited to like shows,
Ted
like you said,
Lasso.
streaming. Yeah, Ted Lasso's a good show. You gotta watch it. It's a really good show.
Did you watch The Naked Gun?
No, I heard that wasn't good.
See, you can't
It
say there are
was-
no comedies and then not see the comedy that went into theaters.
heard that
It
wasn't
was-
good.
No, it was mixed reviews, and I think that's where Scary Movie 6 is going to end up being. Is that it's going
Did
to
you
be
see
mixed reviews.
Anaconda? Anaconda was great. Loved it. Didn't see Anaconda.
With Jack Black.
Yeah. Where were
I don't think like comedies are, at least like movies are as advertised as like dramas are or thrillers
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, it's not where the
So we
movie
kinda
going
lose
experience
it.
is anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are
It-
losing it. Speaking of losing it, did you guys see Timothée Chalamet get into hot water over the weekend?
Oh, I
'Cause,
did.
Timothée
Mhm.
Chalamet hates the ballet. Okay, I have the clip pulled up. Let me know what you guys think on the other side.
Me working in ballet or opera or things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership, but damn, I just took shots for no reason.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's unprofessional to do this out in public. It
Mhm.
is. And this is very unstrategic.
Yeah.
But also, ballet and operas don't move the cultures like they used to. Please
Fine.
don't cancel me.
I would say maybe not here in the US, but in Europe, most definitely it still moves their culture.
I
Opera's a
don't think
huge
it
thing
does.
still
N-
in
Okay.
Europe. I would say so. Okay, for example, in Italy, Andrea Bocelli is one of the most famous opera singers, tenors,
Yes.
ever. And he's still to this day is so popular. Even like people in the US love him. There's also Il Volo, which is the 3 tenors that perform also in Italy. They're opera like singers as well. And also it's with the Winter Olympics ceremony, they had opera at that to show the culture of it. So I think it's still very big, just not in the US. But it wasn't right for Timothée Chalamet to say that shit. Because his mom was a dancer, and there are many ballet dancers that turned actors. Christian Bale was trained in ballet, being one of them, and he played Batman.
True.
Like,
Here's the thing. I'm not saying ballet isn't valuable. I'm not saying it's not like hard to do. I'm not saying like it is hard to do. It is extremely difficult art form that is beautiful and amazing and incredible. And also, it does not move the culture. Okay. Is there a single ballet that moved the culture more than like what's like a movie that came out last year? Any movie like Thunderbolts,
yeah, actually.
a
Because
ballet that moved the culture more than Thunderbolts.
oh, I thought you meant ballet like in Thunderbolts. I would be like, yeah, actually.
No, like a ballet performance or an opera performance or an that in recent memory has moved the culture last year more than, you know what? Not even a Marvel movie.
Phantom of the Opera
maybe
is a great one.
Ella McKay.
Phantom of the Opera is a great one. Why? Because I believe it was...
No, I'm not talking about an old ballet that's still be performed.
No, because I believe Guillermo del Toro said he wants to direct a Phantom of the Opera movie.
But has
that would
something
change
come
the
out
culture
within the
lot.
last year? Yeah, but that's a movie. That's a movie, though.
But it is opera.
I'm saying, has something come out last year, within that last year, that has moved the culture than than Sorry Baby, that movie?
Okay, hold on. Moving the culture is important within context. Okay, Fox News moves the culture.
Mm-hmm.
It does,
right? And it's fucking ass,
yeah,
right? So I think really what it boils down to is like how pure of an art form are certain things. And yes, filmmaking is art. Being an actor is being an artist. But so is being a ballerina. So is being an opera singer. So is ballet and opera. So I think that's where the biggest thing is. It's like when you're young like that. I was looking into this. I thought he was like in his 20s still. This man is 30 years old, and he's still like talking.
Timothée Chalamet is 30?
Yes.
He's 30 years old.
And he's still talking this shit like if he's this like, you know, invincible 20-something-year-old, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like my man, if you really took your profession as serious as you thought you did, as you've been saying for like, 2 years at this point, that you're just as inspired by Scorsese as you are Michael Jordan or whatever the hell he was saying at that award speech. That award speech, by the way, I defended him on that one. I figured like, hey, that's just ambition. That's good. That's fine. But ever since that award speech, he's just been progressively getting more and more cocky and into himself, talking about how he does great work and how he's the GOAT, which is certainly something every GOAT says, right? They have to proclaim it themselves.
Yeah.
Just, dude, if you really took this as seriously as you say you do, you would understand this is all interconnected, and being a creative, being an artist like this is the same experience in manifesting in different ways, and you would have been respectful about that. You wouldn't have taken shots for no reason, like he was saying. I think that's where people are finding the gripe. It's not so much about like, oh, what is the cultural impact of ballet nowadays? Guess what, bro? People are dumb nowadays. They're illiterate. They're not gonna appreciate ballet anymore. They're not gonna appreciate opera. And also, to be fair, it is very much an elitist art form at this point. Right, and this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to see a ballet as opposed to like any movie that comes out last year. It's expensive. It's difficult depending on where you live. So it's like, yeah, maybe like there is a conversation to be held about that, and like how it limits your cultural impact. Also, don't do this right before the Oscars, Timmy.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Like what in what world? Do we think this will impact his Oscar race? And speaking of Oscar races, their next show is going to be an Oscar special. So don't miss that. We'll do who will win, who should win, et cetera, et cetera. But anyways, Do we think do we think Timothée Chalamet's comments will impact his Oscar campaign? I'm thinking that he lost it.
I think I'd have to somebody fact check me here, but I think voting closed already when he said this or when it went viral.
Okay.
So he might have just made it by. I think if he does end up winning, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Right. Not just because of what he said, but because I don't think he deserves it compared to the other. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't think he is the most deserving of it among the nominees.
I really want
this
Michael
year.
B. Jordan to win.
Yeah,
I do as well. Yeah,
I'm hoping for a Sinner sweep. To be honest,
yeah, for real.
I don't care who wins. I just need Timothee to lose.
Yeah, that's it. But I will say that his whole comments about like the ballet and opera, or whatever. I guarantee you, because this man comes from theater, I guarantee you that if he were to star in a ballet, train for a ballet, you know how many people would see that shit?
It will
Go
pop
see
off.
Timothée Chalamet in a ballet. It would pop off. So what are you doing, bro? Smashing on the art of ballet and the art of opera.
True.
You know damn well that you would make a shit ton of money if you started to do a ballet, train for a ballet.
I don't think he would make a lot of money because of the factors we talked about before. You know,
not directly. It wouldn't be a direct paycheck. It would just be like this notoriety that boosts him into. Yeah.
Is it?
And now
Rachel Zegler is also still on Broadway doing Broadway stuff, but is that boosting her notoriety?
But Rachel Zegler she's not Timothée Chalamet big right now.
Yeah,
she was in Marvel. She worked with Steven Spielberg.
But she's not as like known. Like I guarantee you that
here's the thing.
Here's what I'm trying to say.
You did not
Chalamet stuff than Rachel Zegler stuff.
Hold on. This man just said she was in. What is it? Maria.
West Side Story?
She was
Steven Spielberg movie?
Hold on. Yes, she was in West Side Story, the West Side Story remake that came out during COVID and absolutely flopped.
Yeah.
And then she was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the greatest DC movie of all time. Snow White.
Okay. Sure. I do have a question. And she was in Hunger Games. I do have a question about Rachel Zegler in general, because there was a time where she was like the new hotness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like as though she didn't deliver on that, even though I like her as a person. I like her energy. She seems like a very nice person. But also her, like, I've never been like wowed on what she's brought on screen. I think her best role is maybe Hunger Games. Yeah. And the other roles, I'm like,
you know what I think? And this is coming from someone who has been in theater and trained in theater, is because she's a theater kid. And not saying that a theater kid can't do so there's a saying.
Okay.
There's a saying, and it has to do with like the original West Side Story. I forgot how it goes, but basically for West Side Story, they casted dancers that couldn't sing or singers that couldn't dance. And that's the issue with theater. I forgot which way it was, but that's the issue with like getting theater people into film, is that, or at least musicals, right? Film musicals, is that you prioritize casting them on just one talent when there's a whole other talent that they should be excelling at for this role, right? So with Rachel Zegler, it could be that maybe she's too much of a theatrical, musical theater, especially kid, specifically musical theater, to, I don't know, come off well on screen, on film.
Interesting.
Now, that being said, there are many talented actors out there that have come from theater, that trained in theater, that have won Oscars, won big at doing or amazing films, right? It doesn't all work out for people like that. Not everyone is trained in theater. Most of these people that train in theater, they're training in Shakespeare. Shakespeare is very hard to excel at.
She was in Romeo and Juliet recently.
She was in Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
But also, to do Shakespeare well, you have to learn Shakespeare, train in Shakespeare. I don't know how well she did. I've never seen her in Romeo and Juliet. I don't know what the reviews are. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to come from a musical theater background and then transfer that into film. For just like, I don't know. It's hard to do that.
I think just performance aside, the circumstances around each of her projects have just not been great,
That
right?
too.
Like West Side Story and In the Heights came out straight to HBO Max, right? Or
Was it
sorry,
COVID times?
I don't think
No.
it was West Side
Oh,
Story
West Side
did.
Story was 2021. That was smack dab in the middle of the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah, so right. So I guarantee you that if those movies had come out straight to theaters and the marketing was a little bit different and the pandemic situation was different, we maybe would have been seeing a larger resurgence in like musical movies, not just like Wicked since then, right? It's just been those three in the last like 10 years. So I think that kind of that was unfortunate for her there. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Listen, we all know here how we felt about the Snyderverse and DC's Warner Brothers decision making around
What
that
a
entire
fall off.
franchise, right? They have all this fucking source material. The Rock didn't want to make an appearance. I don't know what the whole
Insane.
situation was there, but they made up 3 random new characters and threw them into the movie, and that movie ended up being that movie. That's that's unfortunate for her, right?
Yeah.
And then Hunger Games was great, but then Snow White, people are fucking ridiculous and they can't get over the idea that Snow White isn't literally Snow White. And then, that whole situation happened. So I think the context outside of the projects have affected her more than her actual performances within those projects.
Right.
True. You know
Unfortunately.
who wouldn't say what Timothée Chalamet said? Rachel Zegler.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true. I will
Just
say
a
she is a
dumb move
better
around.
human being than Timothée.
Whoa.
I mean,
Okay.
like you said, she wouldn't have said that.
That's
She
true.
wouldn't have
I
said
would
that.
deal with a theater kid all day over
yeah.
like a 30-something dude, bro.
Yeah.
Opera sucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
I will
god,
say,
I don't have patience for that.
interesting? What was the most interesting to me? You know what the most interesting thing about Timothée Chalamet is to me is that him and Sydney Sweeney have the same problem now, in that
Yeah.
they have audiences based in like largely not women centered or at least left centered audiences, and now are making interesting pivots to
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
And their audience
Yeah.
is just not agreeing with it, which is very interesting to me. I just don't. I'm trying to understand the calculus, to me. Like,
Yeah.
what
Money.
does he want? I don't know.
Make
Yeah,
money.
it's money.
Listen,
Money?
I think he went full. He's got to like do some therapy work to undo the Marty Supreme, indulgence or whatever you want to call it, right? Like he's so lost in that character still, I think, that
I think he
it
was
started
always
as
like this.
it brought it out of him.
Yeah.
And then the marketing campaign, so they made the movie, and then the marketing campaign was basically like, be Marty but in real life, in the modern world. And he hasn't turned that off, and I think he needs to. I think that's what people gravitate towards more. Imagine if Michael B. Jordan was saying the shit that Timothée Chalamet was saying and
Oh,
acting the way that Timothée
God.
Chalamet has been acting. It'd be crazy, right? He'd be getting canceled left and right, and there'd be super racist people, talking shit too. But I think generally speaking too, it would just not land the same way. And Timothée gets away with it because he's a white boy Nepo baby.
Is
Do
he
you
a Nepo
think-
baby?
Yes.
Well, his
Who's
mom
his
was
mom
a
and-
Broadway dancer or something. I don't know what. She was a dancer though. But speaking of Nepo baby, do you guys think he not is also like this because, but like, do you guys kind of understand like him and Kylie Jenner's relationship a bit now?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know, man. I just.
I mean, I
you know
don't
what? If they're in
listen.
love, they're in love. I love love.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know either of them personally, right? Like, but what you display in public, how you act in public, or what you say in public kind of makes people believe what you could be like in private.
I'm rooting for those crazy kids.
Yeah, I'm happy for
speaking-
them. Good for them.
Yeah,
I don't
speaking of
care.
rooting for crazy kids, we'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll do a whole Oscar episode, but make sure you're following us on the socials. That's TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and all that good stuff.
Oh, and happy International Women's Day, belated, I guess. I didn't have any women for you guys to show.
Oh, come on.
Boo.